Hi guys. So I just wanted to make a video explaining why I didn't share my pregnancy with Lily, if anyone, and why we kept it to ourselves and nobody knew about it. So I met Zach back in February 2016 and found out I was pregnant in March 2019. Um, we never like talked about having kids or anything. I didn't feel ready to be a parent, and neither did he, and it wasn't even anything I had ever really thought too far into. What's going on? This is Lily. Say hi. So it was never anything we had talked about or felt ready to do. And so when I found out I was pregnant, we were both really freaked out and just didn't feel like it was the right time. I felt really scared. Neither him or I have careers or have, you know, good jobs that could support a baby. And I also feel like I was just still, and I am still learning just how to take care of myself. I'm still eating cereal for dinner sometimes. So it just doesn't seem like the right time. So I was really scared, and I I never thought that I would ever get an abortion, and I always grew up thinking that abortion was horrible. And I'm still not, uh, I don't really believe in abortion, but at the time, it felt like it was the only thing I could do. And I went to like doctor appointment, and they always tried to steer you towards kind of adoption. They try not to be too pushy, but they say, oh, there's always adoption. You don't have to get an abortion. And I was like, I just felt like it would be too sad to give my baby up for adoption because, well, then she would be someone else's, and it would just be depressing, knowing that she, I wouldn't be her mom. She wouldn't know me as her mom, but she would still be out there, and she would be mine, just not legally. So that wasn't an option for me, and also I just didn't want to go through the whole pregnancy and then not have her be mine at the end of it. That felt really not right to me. So her dad also didn't want me to have an abortion, but it just seemed like the only thing at the time. So I called around and I just looked online at different pricing and different places, and I put it off for too long. And I'm kind of making a long story short-ish. I put it off for too long, and I think I was around 2 months pregnant when I decided I didn't want to get an abortion because I felt like she had developed too much to just, kill her. So, also I had found out I was pregnant when I was around like 5 or 6 weeks, so pretty early on. By the time I was 2 months, I decided that I was too far along to get an abortion, and her dad, Zach, kept telling me, I wish we could just go for adoption. I wish we could just do adoption instead, if anything. Um, so finally, like, it seemed too late to get an abortion, and then I was like, yeah, I mean, that felt like the only other option. So we met with an adoption agency and made this decision that we were going to go through with it. So you go and you meet with them, and it's a lot of paperwork, and then you just have to wait till you're 5 months pregnant to even be matched with a family. You get to choose a family. You have to wait till you're 5 months, and by then I was still really far along, or really not far along. So we just did all the paperwork and waited until 5 months came along. And do you want to tell the story? You want to tell it yourself? You do? Okay, sorry. You tell the story. Anyway, so we did the paperwork and waited, and then I was 5 months. And at this time, I'm still living with my family, and nobody knows I'm pregnant. I haven't told anybody because giving your baby up for adoption is depending, I guess it's different from person to person, but it's really difficult. It's a really personal thing, I felt really fragile and really lonely, and really like I didn't want to hear anybody else make me feel bad or put me down. And I just didn't want to hear anybody else's opinion in general, because it's such a touchy, sensitive subject, especially as the mom who's gonna have to be giving your baby away. And not realistically, but I mean, if I had the right job and everything was perfect, which I guess it's never gonna be, I would have been so glad to keep her, the baby, and so would her dad. We were really upset, and it was just a really horrible time just being pregnant with her and knowing that she wasn't gonna even get to stay with us. She was just gonna go. So 5 months came along, and we picked a family. It was a perfect family. They were from the Midwest. They were, your cookie cutter, very nice little family, and it was perfect. It's what I wanted, what I thought was best for her. So we went with them. They flew out. We met with them. It seemed like a perfect match. It was just, they were the nicest family. So they flew out and we met with them. We had dinner, got to know them. We all talked back and forth, and then I was able to move out of my family's house when I was 5 months, because that's when the funds come in. Because by that point you're not likely to have a miscarriage, so that's why they make you wait that long. So I got the funds when I turned 5 months, and I moved out of my family's house. I was already getting kind of a big stomach, so I was surprised that they didn't know. Anyway, as I moved out and my stomach got bigger, I kind of started to ignore my family that lived close to me, just to not show, so they wouldn't know, because I was honestly planning on never telling anybody. It was just too sensitive of a subject. So finally, 9 months comes along. She's due on the 30th, and I went into labor on the 23rd. And meanwhile, still nobody knows that I'm pregnant or anything. I even had seen my family, like all of my family, at 6 months pregnant, and nobody knew, luckily for me. Okay, so I went into labor with her on the 23rd. She's due on the 30th. And the birth was like literally went so easily, so smoothly. It was just like the perfect birth, like so easy. I started having contractions at 7:30 in the morning, and I had her at 11:41 p.m. So I had her, and my social worker called the adoptive family, to which we had chosen an open adoption, so legally we were going to get to see her and get pictures and letters and visitations and stuff, but they lived across the country, so it just wasn't going to be often or like enough. What? So then they flew out as soon as she told them I had her, and they came in and they held her, and legally she's ours until 3 days after you have her, which is when you go into the adoption agency and you sign your relinquishment papers, which signs them over to the other family. So long story short, we went into it was a hard 3 days because we had her in the hospital. We had stayed with her in the hospital, and the adoptive parents hadn't. And so I think just during that time we got close to her. It just felt like such a deep love and connection and attachment to her that you can't even know what it feels like until you have a baby, I feel like. And so once we had her, it was didn't even feel real. It felt like you're on drugs, and I was, because I had an epidural, but it feels like you're on drugs. It's just an amazing feeling, like the love you have for your little baby. And we didn't know it was going to be like that. We didn't know it was going to be so intense and like just like some next level feelings. Look at your cute little cheeks. Look at your cute cheeks. Ooh, are you gonna throw up? Gonna throw up? No? Bubbles? So for 3 days we had time to spend with her until we had to sign our papers. And in that time we got very close to her. And so me and Zach were just so upset, and we were just, crying and so depressed, and it felt so not right. And I couldn't even imagine having to say goodbye to her and let them take her back with them. I just couldn't even imagine, even though they were the nicest people and they were so looking forward to it. They had a baby shower and all kinds of stuff. Sorry. I forgot you were telling the story. I forgot. You sick of sitting like this? Are you tired of sitting like this? Okay. Don't show my booby to the camera. Don't show it. So, long story short, when we went in to sign the relinquishment papers, we couldn't do it. So we kept her, and we had nothing. We weren't prepared. I mean, nothing. And she was in the car seat that the adoptive family had bought for her. She was in an outfit that the adoptive family had bought for her. So, I mean, we changed our mind. We literally made the decision to keep her when we were supposed to sit down to sign our relinquishment papers, that very second, we made the decision then. Pretty much both right before we walked into the office is when we made the decision. Yeah, that's right. So, it was just crazy. It was like a split decision. One thing that I read the night before was that another girl that had changed their mind on giving our baby up for adoption was that you can never get your child back if you change your mind. I mean, it's gonna hurt the family that was supposed to adopt her, but it said they can heal. They'll heal eventually, and they can adopt another baby. But you will never get your baby back. You can never get your baby back. Once the papers are signed, that's that. And you'll never be able to change your mind. And I've read so many stories saying that people have regretted it for the rest of their lives and never stopped thinking about it. It was the worst decision they ever made. So we just decided we couldn't do it. So we went inside to sign our papers, and we just said, hey, we can't do it. Really sorry. So I had to call the woman, the adoptive mom, and tell her that we were going to choose to parent, which is what it's called when you keep her. So you choose to parent. And she was just heartbroken. It was the most difficult call that I've ever had to make. And I mean, I could get more into detail, but we chose to keep her, and Zach had to run to Target. Ow, she's got my neck. Zach had to run to Target and get a car seat and an outfit to take her home in and stuff, because we had to give all the other stuff back to the adoptive family. And we kept her, and then we had to call our families and tell them everything, and of course everybody was like, what the heck? Because you're not expecting to hear like, oh, I'm pregnant and I had the baby. You're expecting to hear, I'm pregnant, period. But yeah, that's the story. And just, I mean, I guess also anybody that's maybe going through the same thing, just know that it's okay to change your mind, because it's true. Like, you can never get your baby back. You can never do that. So it's important to really make the right decision for you. And here she is. She's the best decision that I ever made. Huh. Yeah. We love her so much. She's just a little princess. A mad little princess. You get mad? Okay, well, she wants to have a baba, so we gotta go. Say bye. Can you say bye? Can you say bye-bye? Can you say bye-bye, bye? Bye.